Hello, and thank you for joining me for this year's Heart Celebration. Today, I'm Kelly Wilson, and today I put together some pandemic thoughts. Yes, deep thoughts from the pandemic during the last 2 years. My first and probably most important one is that the pandemic was engineered by cats. Cats were bored. They wanted people around to scratch their bellies and then bite. So that's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Through the pandemic, I had a lot of snacks. None of them were dairy, however. I am diagnosed lactose intolerant. It's pretty severe. It's disappointing. I never considered myself intolerant, so sorry, lactose, but I am the Donald Trump of cheese. I've been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and anxiety. Oh, and low self-esteem. And I put them in terms of cheeses so I can remember them. So, post-traumatic stress disorder is kind of a tangy Swiss. Depression is a mild Gouda. Anxiety is a sharp cheddar. And low self-esteem is Cheese Whiz. So, it's cheap. It's everywhere. And you can pour it on anything. So, yeah. Before the pandemic, I decided to put together a fun run for low self-esteem, and nobody came, so that was cool. So, pandemic, bad news, good news. Pandemic, bad news, increase in suicidal ideation. That makes sense. Pandemic, good news, food delivery. So I was thinking, why not partner the suicide prevention hotline with Grubhub? With ice cream delivery, don't you think more people would call the suicide prevention hotline, which is great, by the way, if after you were done, you got ice cream delivered to your door? It would go something like this. You're on there with the counselor. The counselor says, "I'm glad you're feeling better. Please hold for your ice cream order through Grubhub." Then you have the music. Dun, 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 dun. Then the voice comes on. Press 1 for vanilla. Press 2 for chocolate. Press 3 if you're lactose intolerant. You will be connected with a crisis counselor immediately. So it's not a perfect system. I have to say I had pandemic depression. It is like regular depression, but with 100% less pants. So people, especially now, are like, try on your jeans and see if they fit. And I'm like, if you don't already have 3 pant sizes in your closet, you don't know how to do life. Like, come on, man. Now we're coming out of the pandemic. So I, put on a little weight. I would say that before the pandemic, I had an hourglass figure, and now I have more of a Hershey's Kiss, which are delicious, by the way. But the key to pandemic weight loss apparently is only eating one dinner. So I've been a little bit successful. I have been so sad about cutting my food consumption that I call everything a snack. So it's not a nap, it's a sleep snack. Isn't that cute? When the pandemic started, I spent $6 on gas for my car, which is now the cost of a tank. A tank? A gallon? Oh my goodness. Let me start that one over again. When the pandemic started, I spent $6 on gas for my car and $50 on tacos in 1 month. I still spend $50 on tacos. The best question I came up with during quarantine was, do vegetarians eat animal crackers? It's been a long 2 years, I'll tell you that. Let's talk about Zoom. I have some thoughts about Zoom. You know that your farts are loud when they trigger the "you're muted" message on Zoom. So that's good. I'm so used to using the mute option in Zoom that I try to use it on people now. Like, where is your mute button? On my kids, on my husband. I went to the store the other day. You know, there's no more masks here anyway, right now. And I felt so weird going to the store in both no mask and no bra. What? That was crazy. Earlier, I was trying to say to someone, menopause is kicking my brain, but I couldn't remember the word menopause. So, also started going through menopause in the pandemic, by the way, which is super fun. I learned that there comes a time in a woman's life where sweaters become a young person's game. Just every day is hot. I've been diagnosed with menopausal female pattern baldness. So I'm not so much losing my hair as I'm gaining a forehead. You know, stay positive. Also, you know how a stork delivers newborn babies? So I'm thinking the bird that takes the baby making away is the phoenix. It arrives in a hot flash, and then you're reborn as a golden girl. Over the pandemic, I started to get into trauma recovery work, meaning as a coach. So I specialize in trauma recovery coaching and grief recovery. But, you know, we have to use the word ground a lot, like get grounded, be grounded, ground yourself. And I figured out really quick that my brain gets real awkward because I want to say to someone, let's take a deep breath and grind into the present moment. When did you last go to IKEA, by the way? That's probably not for 2 years. So, want to see how well you're handling the transition out of the pandemic? Go to IKEA. When I was divorced, I bought a bookshelf from IKEA and I was putting it together and I was like, I think I can take him back if he'll put together this bookshelf for me. So, the other day, I left my car. I left my house. Oh my goodness, see? Menopause. I can't make this stuff up. I left my house and I saw not one car or person for like 3/4 of a mile. And I was like, my first thought was like, oh man, did I miss the rapture? Anyway, thank you for listening to my pandemic ramblings. My name is Kelly Wilson. I'm a trauma recovery coach and a grief recovery specialist who likes to joke about menopause a lot and other things. You can find me online at wilsonwrites.com and mapyourhealing.com. Thank you.